Assalamualaikum everybody, inshallah I hope your fasts have been going very well up until this point. Today I actually wanted to talk about a topic that I feel should be very important to us as Muslims, and it saddens me that it's not as important to Muslims. And it's understandable because there's not that much information about it out there, there's not that much knowledge about it out there, and obviously the news and media are not talking about it. So the topic that I wanted to talk about is Burma. Burma is also known as Myanmar. For the longest time it fell into the same general geographic location as India and Pakistan. I would say from the late 1500s, which is when the Mongol invasion was, till the end of the British occupation, which was in 1948, India, Pakistan, Burma, these all kind of fell into just one country. So Burma got its independence in 1948, and following the independence, they have been under a lot of civil war, political strife. Burma has actually had one of the longest running civil wars. It ended around, I would say, 2011, and this was following the 2010 elections, which I'll get to in a minute. So Burma has about 1.5 million Muslims living there. Burma also has a lot of different ethnic groups that live there. Burman being the most predominant, which is about, I think, 68 to 70% of the population is Burman. But there's also a lot of others known as there's Shan, there's Korean, there's the Mon, and then there's of course Indians and Chinese that also live there. So I feel like a lot of this has also been the cause for the ethnic tensions that have been in Burma following its independence. So for the longest time it was also under military rule, and in 2010 was the game changer. There was an election in 2010, and following this election, you might have heard of her, Aung San Suu Kyi was freed from her house arrest, and she is the leader of the National League for Democracy. So she's basically the biggest pro-democracy advocate there. She's also the biggest enemy that the government at that point had. Also, following the 2010 election, there were a lot of political reforms, a lot of economic reforms, because Burma is at least 20 to 30 years behind where the rest of the world is. So in June of this year, President Tian Shan actually said that he wanted to remove all of the Muslims. The Rohingya Muslims, to be specific, and the Rohingya Muslims are actually a group of Muslims that are to be descendants of a group of Muslims that migrated from Bangladesh. So they've actually been living in Burma for a very long time, and so in June, President Tian Shan said that he wanted to get rid of all of these Muslims, and that was kind of for the longest time, Rohingya Muslims had been oppressed. You know, there was a lot of tensions that were against them. They had a lot of things working against them. But when the president says that, it kind of gave everybody a reason to, act on it. June 30th of this year, 11 Muslims were pulled down from a bus and killed by the Buddhist army and the Buddhist group of people that was over there. And I'm not trying to say that this is a fight between Muslims and Buddhists, because it's not. It's really a lot of political tensions or whatever is going on in that country. It's a lot of intricate details in there that I don't want to go into, but it's really just about ethnic cleansing of a group for no reason, just because the masses says that they don't belong there, even though they've been living there for centuries now. Following the killing of these 11 Muslims, it started a lot of protests. So where it actually happened was a Muslim majority locality, so there were a lot of protests that took place by the Muslims in that area, and unfortunately they were overpowered by the military that was sent over, and about 50 people died, to say conservatively. 50 people died, and a lot of houses, thousands and thousands of houses, were set on fire. And it's really saddening because Aung San Suu Kyi, who recently just won a Nobel Peace Prize, has said nothing about this, has not spoken out a word against this. Nobody has said anything about this, and for the most part, even the Muslim world is very silent about this. And it's just really sad to see that nobody's doing anything. These are a very small minority. They are just a very small group of people who have done nothing. They've just been targeted for their faith, and that's not fair. We all know, no matter what the faith is, that we realized this during World War II, that it is not okay to, pick on a group of people just because of their faith. And, it was the Jews at that time. The people changed, but it seems that the incident doesn't, the situation doesn't. And it's really sad. So it's our duty as Muslims to do something about it so that our Muslim brothers and our Muslim brothers and sisters across the world are not suffering. Up until now, it is said that about 20,000 Muslims have been killed. I would say make dua, make dua, make dua. That's the most that you can do. If that's the most that you can do, then do it. But at the same time, we need to find ways to protest here in our country, to bring more attention to this, so people are talking about it and realizing how bad this is. It is essentially genocide. It is genocide of Burmese Muslims, of the Rohingya Muslims specifically. So inshallah, I have not been able to find Islamic relief for anybody who can get how we can get money over there. But as soon as I do, keep looking for updates in my videos, and inshallah I will try to find something soon. And inshallah, that's all I have for now. I hope I've given you some information, you've learned a little bit of something, and I've changed your outlook on something. Inshallah, see you guys soon.